Hey, how is it going? Well, I'm getting a lot of glare. Well, I guess deal with it. So, I really should have. Whoops. What the heck am I spitting out? I haven't even eaten anything today. That's not a good commentary on the inside of my mouth. But I have drunk coffee with cocoa powder. I think that's what cocoa powder doesn't dissolve like Hershey's. Hershey's are Nesquik, not Netflix. Anyway, baking cocoa powder, but doesn't have sugar, is why I use it. But it doesn't dissolve, and sometimes you get little clumpies, and it's bitter until you add sweetener too, by the way. So there. Now you know all my secrets. Okay, so I pulled some cards from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. The poor thing is getting really hammered, the box. But I pulled another card for completely uncard reading, traditional, I guess, purposes. But I have found in this Light Years deck a number of actors. Like one is the Seven of Pentacles, and dude looks just like Rob Delaney, who right now is in Wolverine and Deadpool, or sorry, that's probably backwards. Deadpool and Wolverine. Don't want to get those, I can't think of the stupid movie term for it, but the headliner has to be in the correct position, and then the co-star, and oh my goodness, it's a whole thing. But anyway, Rob Delaney, who is now a co-star in Deadpool and Wolverine, I was just talking about it, is one of those cards. I'm not going to pull that out. And there's a couple more actors in here that I found. Well, one is an actress, and she is Canadian, and she's black, and she's in a lot of stuff, but I didn't know her name just off the top of my head, and I had to go through like this incredibly long list of black actresses to find her. But anyway, she's in there too, and she's Queen of Wands, I believe. So this card I've just kind of been holding back, because one actor, you can probably tell who the guy looks like. Look at that. Does that look like Harrison Ford? So the adult woman was the other person, and I was like, dang, that person looks so familiar, and I can't figure out what she's from. And then 2 days ago, I'm just getting to it now. 2 days ago, it finally occurred to me what show she is from. And she doesn't, I'm just talking about like the head and the face, not necessarily the body, because, hi Puffer, this dress, or whatever she's wearing, it's like a whole long sleeve, like, like a blazer, that shirt she's got on, and the skirt's like all big, and I don't know if she is under it, but so I'm like disregarding the body, because I don't think her body looks like this. But let me look up cast of real quick. Kitty, why now do you need me? The door's open, you can just go out. I didn't close it. I don't know. He needs me to walk him to the door often and often. God, Kitty, what? He never talks. He is so quiet. But I think he got mad at me finally and left. Nope. Okay, sorry. I'm like trying to find this actress. Okay, that's what I thought it was. So Patricia Richardson from Tool Time. Just the head, though. She never had that haircut, to the best of my knowledge, but the face, look at the face. That's what always got me. Kitty, I can't stop right now. Let yourself out. Leave him. Let's go see what he's going on about. Kitty, I told you I was gonna be busy. Why now? Kitty, get out. Oh, I guess it's not open. My bad. Here. Yes. Sorry I was wrong about you. Now get out. Okay. So, now that I got that little chore out of the way, and also, I'm sure it doesn't mean that much to you that I found the actress that took me years to figure out on the tarot card, but I feel better. So, pardon that interruption. I've only been able to successfully pause while filming one time, and I don't know about you. I don't know what happens when you do your card readings, but I don't want to start all over with the video. It's less about the cards than the video process. But anyway, so I think that concludes all of the people I'm going to find in the cards in here. Oh, but I started to say the death card in that deck looks like the host of the Rational National YouTube channel, and it's a Canadian guy named David Dole, and it looks in the face so much like David Dole. It's crazy. And I sent him a screenshot of it on Twitter, and he answered me, and he just kind of laughed. His hair is different, but the face is like dead on. And I think there's like 4 prominent people that I found in there, so that I thought that was fun. Okay, so I've wasted, ooh, gosh, a whole 7+ minutes on all of that. But anyway, so yesterday, I woke up, as I have been for probably about a week now, just feeling pretty darn happy and upbeat. Although, I had extra reason today because one of my deliveries went to my safe space where I can, like, outsmart the stupid porch pirates. My food processor had broken, and it was a Ninja, which I loved, and I hated this. The blades were still good, and the motor was still good, but the bowl, which is plastic, broke. And I had that thing for almost 20 years, maybe 20 years actually, but I remember I paid $39.95 for it, and it was like a 8-cup bowl and, you know, chopper blades and a little motor. But the thing is the bowl was plastic, and the motor, which wasn't really, except for the outer casing, the cover, so it was heavy. And then you had to fit it over the spindle of the blades on the bowl, like this. The spindle stuck up through the cover of the bowl, because you have to have a cover, obviously. Like, it's like a blender. You can't really use it without the lid on, or everything goes flying. So anyway, bowl, lid, spindle, motor, and then you had to press down on the button, but you had to, like, you know, give it a lot of pressure, kind of. And so over the years, there was another spindle that the blade spindle sat on to rotate, and that came detached from the bottom of the bowl and got stuck inside the blade spindle. Could not get it out. I mean, I have like refrigerator magnets. I didn't have anything to like suck that puppy out of there. So that was kind of lame. But the main problem was the bowl had been leaking for a while because it was cracked, radiating out from that bottom spindle. So I'd been having to put the whole contraption on something like a plate or in a bowl to catch the liquid, and then I couldn't have anything in it without something under it. It was not a good situation. And do you think there was ever a replacement bowl available? No, no, there was not. Sorry, now I'm choking. Don't talk shit about the ninja gods. But I'm not done. So it just kind of broke my heart to get rid of that whole thing. And like the motor, I have nowhere to put it. It worked, but what is it still good for now? So I just kind of had to let it go. But unfortunately, I used that thing a lot. So I started shopping last month when everything just finally broke. Like, you couldn't even use it anymore. Like, you couldn't. The bowl was messed up. The spindles were messed up. So finally just tossed it. Really hard to let go of. I guess I became attached to it. But so I was shopping, and then I saw another similar thing, but looked like kind of better, built better, for the same price that I paid for the Ninja like almost 20 years ago. So $39.95, and the brand is Kitchen in a Box, and it's Kitchen in a Box. I know I have my face turned the wrong way, and the setup is the same, except for this one came with 2 bowls, and they're larger, which I'm gonna have to make sure and not be filling it to make like food for myself, because the other one I knew there was 2 or 3 servings in. This one's like 5 or 6. But the bowls are glass and metal, so I'm not gonna have that pressing down pressure on it to create that radiating stress, I guess, is what happened. Because it does also have spindles, but this motor just has a couple of little buttons, and you don't have to, like, actually put weight on them. You can just, like, trigger finger weight sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it's really cool. I'm, like, super happy. I barely had anywhere to put it. This place is so packed with so little storage that comes with the place, and I'm all out of shelves. All out of shelf money. I'll figure it out. Anyway, kind of beside the point, but not. It made me really happy. So anyway, 2 days ago, woke up just feeling happy, but that started like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And not that I was waking up all, oh, life is terrible or anything like that. Like, generally, I get up and I greet the day, and I have my little routine and I guess rituals or whatever, but it's not all like, it's just getting up and like seeing the morning sun and meditating and just doing your gratitude prayers and that. And then I got like some new morning ritual things, because I got all into the mudras, and I know that those gestures, when done properly and for the right amount of time, I guess, the length of time that you actually do them for them to be effective. And then it got me kind of interested in acupressure, but one of the things I don't even know where I ran across it, but just like in there, like searching for stuff to find out about it, I learned about like just massaging your hands like each day. And so I've been doing it in the morning. I don't know if there's a special time of day you're supposed to do it, but that's when I started doing it. And I can't tell you, I can't like quantify what kind of difference it made, but the fact that my throat chakra barely wants to let me get it out gives me the idea that I'm on the right track with it. But the thing I read about it was just that it has all these like health benefits, and my new thing, I guess, is tracking down all of these sort of natural remedies and routines, like to treat yourself to maintain good health. Like, I need to get back into the Tai Chi because I feel like that is part of it too. So like the hand massage, which I'm actually doing right now because it is the morning time, and I just, like, I'm not a professional massage person or anything. I just start from like the wrist and work my way to the fingertips. But the thing I learned too about the mudras is that you have all these nerve endings in your fingertips and I guess on your hands in general, and the positioning of them and which touches where has like huge effects on your body. Like, that's the point. It's like part of yoga, I think, and it's the part of yoga that I can manage because physically my balance is shot for all of that leaning and bending, and I can't even, it's just not even safe for me to be up on 2 feet without something to hold on to. So hand yoga, that's what I do. But that whole thing, all of that stuff kind of made me curious about Chinese acupressure. So don't really know much about it yet. I know that it helps you locate sort of ailments that you can activate pressure points on your body and treat and or cure. I don't know. I need to find out more, but something's handing me over into that direction. Anyway, still didn't say what I wanted to say about 2 days ago. So 2 days ago, woke up after a succession of days of waking up feeling happy and unusually so, and liking it and feeling like I'm just gonna like keep going with this. And I think that's part of the whole keeping the high vibration thing. And if I can suggest for anybody else watching, we want to keep that up as much as possible because there's a lot of stuff happening in the world that just wants to bring us down, to dumb down the explanation. And as for the reasoning, like, why keep a high vibration? Why the heck not? You want to be sad and gloomy, and you know, there's plenty of time to think about everything, but man, I feel like devoting less of it to feeling bad and thinking about negative things, and you know, bad things are going to happen because this is happening. It's like, yeah, but that's happening, and maybe if we don't all get totally bummed out about it, we don't like sort of swing the general mood of everybody and everything in the bummed out direction. Rather swing it toward happy. Laugh at it if you can, because how else do you get through hard stuff? But yeah, I just, you know, want to maintain that high vibration, and I feel like if we do it as a team, we could really make a difference. I'm trying to emulate those after game sports guys, like particularly the football guys, after they've been completely knocked around. They're supposed to talk and make sense, and they got like little cartoon birds flying around their heads, and you can kind of tell too when they talk. Oh my, I don't know. I just put the greasy treatment on my hair, so yeah. There's something about Kathy, but it's not that something. So 2 days ago, woke up feeling all happy, felt good about it, decided to keep feeling that, and I heard 2 words, and I guess I had been thinking before this happened, and the next time I go to do what I'm doing right now, what the heck am I talking about? Because I talked about like the secret stuff and the kind of believe it or not stuff. And I'll probably talk about it again, but I just felt like it was time to move on. So the two words I heard were clean slate. And I was like, oh, I'm glad we agree. And then I pulled some cards. And I pulled them from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. So the first one I pulled was the number 21 card, First Breath, Beginner's Mind, which I thought was apt because starting all over with a clean slate, gonna just by virtue of that be taking beginner's breaths on your new cycle / endeavor. And when I say you, I mean you and me. Because I'm pretty sure that whatever was happening with me is happening also to everybody else. And so, like, I was expecting things. I was not surprised to start waking up feeling just happy, in a different shade of happy than I have previously felt. That's the best I can do with it. So on here is two planets. It almost looks like they're colliding, but I don't think they are. I think it's just they're just close together from the perspective of wherever we are looking at this. But the thing that catches my eye is there's like a face in there, and they seem to have something that I've seen on like indigenous American warriors where they'll paint the top portion of their face like some dark color, and it looks pretty like intimidating, I would think, for like a warrior situation, for a battle. But I feel like here it's like the shaman and they're intimately involved with whatever this planetary business is. Like that's what I feel like has been changing. One of the things coming from space, there's like the CMEs, the coronal mass ejections, which is the word that I can never think of when I'm trying to talk about all of the stuff that comes in from beyond Earth's atmosphere that people get scared of it, and there can be damaging effects, but I'm not talking about that. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that comes in along with those, you know, mass ejections of solar stuff and solar winds, and, you know, there's a lot of things, rays that are accumulated and end up coming down here from space. And like I said, we tend to have a lot of fear about them, but often there is, like I said, there are damaging effects, but that's not all there is to it. And also I think that they blow up like just how damaging the effects are to us. We know that satellites are affected. Sometimes the electrical grid, like, you know, cable gets whacked out. My iPhone has been like, sometimes it wants to show me the pictures that go along with the titles, and sometimes it doesn't. And it looks the way it looks when it's time to pay your bill and you haven't paid it yet. I don't know if this happens to everyone else, but last month, probably 2 weeks before the bill was even like due to be repaid, the pictures just started going away, and all you could see was like the titles and a dot, which I think is always there, but I don't think I've ever noticed it, because usually to the right of the dot there's a picture of what the preview picture, the title card of the video. And it's a strange thing, but also I know that all of those interruptions can also be caused by all this stuff coming in from space. So anyway, I feel like this shaman person is aware of it. They're in the midst of they don't really look aligned, but that could also be a perspective thing. or it's just symbolic, because you can commune with this stuff. You don't have to go up and like bump heads with the planets. I think it's a metaphor. But yeah, so clean slate, starting over, first breath, beginner's mind. Always when you're starting something new, it's best not to go in thinking you know everything that's going on, because if it's new, you likely don't know everything that's going on. So the next card I pulled, that was the number 21 card. I have no particular comment, I'm just mentioning it. This card is the number 61 card, and it's Whale Song, and the subtitle is Resonating. So, speaking of high vibrations, whales, I think, are a beast you could attribute that to. And it's a shame that we have such bad associations with the word beast, because there's so many that are not like face ripper monkey, you know? Like, they're intelligent, they're kind, they communicate with us in ways and differently than we humans communicate with each other. But you know, when it comes to rescuing them in situations where they like beach themselves or become entangled in fishing line, or they get beat up by propellers on boats, like they go through a lot, and they still try to communicate with us. And I mean, there's some where they're like trying to knock people out of boats, and it's like, well, I mean, not all of us humans behave perfectly well and courteously either. Like, we get pissed off and start Karening out, and who's to say that whales don't Karen a little bit? I mean, we really push it. We just dump in their home, so don't get me started. But anyway, Resonating is the subtitle. And that brings me back to keeping that high vibration, because that's definitely a resonation that you can feel. I don't know if this is true for everyone else, because the way that everyone processes this stuff is different, but it is literally a vibrating, like, there's almost a sound. It's not a sound, but it's like it's a below the level of like you can hear that. This is more something that there's like a throbbing sensation in my body. There's a number of them that'll be going off at once. So I'm just starting to figure out like what's attributed to what. The point is that there's a process for me, or there's a number of ways to reach the high vibration for me. Like, immediate, easy, you don't even have to try, is when something just makes you happy and you just start laughing, or you're thrilled to see someone, or your cat comes back and you're just happy every time because you love that little critter. You know, just whatever turns it on, whatever turns you on, man. But yeah, that. And so you start to be able to know that vibration, like it resonates with you. And then also, if other people are resonating at the same, or vibrating at the same rate, then you will begin to resonate with them. And then the more, I want to say, power added to the general resonation factor, especially if it's like loaded into the high vibration slot, whatever that looks like, that is good. Like, that is the desired effect. So the next card is the number 23 card, and it's Fortune's Wheel. Luck and right timing. You know, what comes to mind for some reason is Christian Scientists. And I'm not sure if you know about them. I don't know a whole lot, but I do know that they don't use doctors. They don't believe in it. Like I said, I don't know a lot about it, so I don't know why they don't. But what they do believe is that the body can heal itself. And I don't know if they would phrase it in quite the same way, although the jargon is pretty everywhere these days, so maybe they do now. But they know to tune into the person's vibration and just even go down another side alley. Dune, one of my favorite books ever, book series. When you talk about the Bene Gesserit, they have the ability, like this is one of the things that makes them, that's what they're famous for, the Bene Gesserit, and it is the sisterhood. You gotta read the book. I ain't gonna even try to explain that or watch the movie, but read the book. It explains everything so much better, and then the movie makes more sense. But it's one of those ones where you kind of gotta read the book if you want like all of the pertinent information. So one of the things that the Bene Gesserit have trained themselves to do is to heal their own body, but also to, if they ingest poison, they can like change the chemical composition. So I feel like that's kind of almost the same as what the Christian Scientists do, and I have not seen it in practice. I have no idea what this looks like in action, but they approach and treat illness, and it also has to come from the person with it too. There's like a component that they have to contribute, and it's like faith and belief that they and the persons with them that they are resonating with can tune in together to change the composition of the illness, to treat it, whatever it is. And so I had a roommate that was a Christian Scientist, and I had known this person for years. It's just like with the Mormons, like you know them forever. I didn't talk about my religion when I had one either. Like, I just have the one that got stuck on me, and I haven't taken on anymore, so that's the one I got. But I think probably I talked about the Catholicism more than anybody talked about being a Mormon or a Christian Scientist. Like, they just didn't talk about it at all. And then, like, the Jewish people, well, I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood, so kind of knew who was Jewish, and not everyone was observant, but sometimes, they talk about like the holidays, and you got to know the names of them if you weren't a Jew like myself, and you learned a little about what they were for and about, because they're not Christmas and not everyone knows everything about them, but you were aware of Jews and Judaism, and really in this country, that's Muslims, you kind of know about. Like, you don't know a lot about them if you don't know any, probably. And that's true of so many things about people in this country, but that's a whole nother alley I don't want to go down. So, the subtitle on this card, Fortune's Wheel, is Luck and Bright Timing. But I feel like a component of both of those is your vibration and your ability to tune into a situation and make it work for you. Like the Christian Scientists make that belief and that vibration and intent and desire to heal and to right whatever's off in that particular body. So this is not about an illness, but it's sort of like going into a situation like any that you're going to walk into in life, and then just having the ability to instantly adapt. And maybe there's an element of luck that has nothing to do with the person and their vibration, but I don't believe that's the case. I think that can help but contribute positively if the vibration is about the light and the love, and not the fear and the anger. I just feel like if you put in good, you get good back. So I think everyone, like when they're gambling, is like wanting to win, but maybe you just need to know you're going to win, or just to have won. Like that is your state of mind. And that's sort of like a a tuning of your vibration thing. So the next card I pulled was learning how to read straddling worlds. It's the number 52 card, and the subtitle is Wandering Between Realms. I feel like it's still talking about vibration. Like, if you're in one place where you're not vibrating high, if you want to, like if you are still in a place where you feel like you have to step up and elevate, that means you're in one place and then your desire or your intent is to be in another. And maybe you are a little bit. And that's kind of what learning to keep a high vibration is. It's like, I think especially at first, hard to maintain and hard on you, because we're just not, I think, conditioned over our lives to do that. And so it's a learning process like anything else. Like, I want to, not like any learning process though, like I would say learning to play a guitar or drums is very different in ways from learning to ride a bicycle, but each one of those, to be able to safely ride the bike, or to ride the bike and like go beyond and do tricks and, you know, ride in rugged terrain, metaphor but I don't think either one, very many of us can just hop onto the instrument or the bicycle and just instantly be like expert, you know. Like there's a little, you know, straddling both worlds. It almost makes me think of the card of dancing on one foot, which is like the floor is lava. Like in both cases, you can't like maintain a foot on the ground, but with time and practice and patience, you can, I think. So the next card that I pulled, the last one, is a number 27 card, and it is Heart Home, and it is compassion. And so this makes sense, I feel like, in context of what I've been saying, because the reason that you want to tune in and keep the high vibration is not just for yourself, but for others too. Like, it's a group effort. The whole reason that we're even here, if you're hip to this, like if you know that you're here for a purpose, you're kind of on your way to knowing like the spirituality stuff. And so the subtitle on this card is compassion. And you want to have compassion and raise your vibration because you know it's going to be helpful for everyone else. And then it's going to also be helpful for other people trying to also raise their vibration, because they can follow in suit. They can observe you and see how your vibration is, what it looks like in practice, in action. And then, you know, they know what to do themselves when they want to also join in the effort and help. See, more help is happening. That's also the reason for keeping a high vibration, is because, well, for one thing, you know, we can do stuff in the world for ourselves all we want, but the world is not fun or interesting without all the other people and the stuff they do. So you have to like include them, and you have to, I think it's, you have to have like love and a high esteem for other people to even care to want to do it. But I think when you're in a high vibration, you can kind of dispense with that. You can have the compassion, like the subtitle of this card, to include everyone in your vibration, because that is how wholeness works. And wholeness is the goal. Like, we want everyone not to be the same, but to want to join in the effort to vibrate high, because within that, everyone's going to be doing it their own subjective way anyway. But that's what's necessary. That's what's needed. It is like a group effort, a collective effort. So, it's a clean slate, but it's not really like anything new. Like the intent behind what. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is new because probably 5 years ago I would not have thought of that I was doing anything, whatever I was doing. But you know, my perspective has even changed on that. So I don't know. It's like that Cryon story about Wu, his sort of all-purpose character that could be any gender or age. But in this particular story, he was talking about Wu sort of feeling like they were ready to elevate to like the next frequency, the next higher vibration, or you know, they had some sort of upgrade, but they just felt like they were ready to, like, as Cryon put it, walk through that door, because that door represents the portal to whatever is going to be added to the clean slate. Like the slate is clean, so now you go ahead and step through that doorway and into the new set of actions and abilities, and you know, whatever activity, like whatever happens in life, it's all going to be a new cycle of events. And so, and also, like, whatever you've lived previous to stepping through there, it has been in preparation for that moment for you to, you know, self-elevate, really. So, I think I said what I need to say. Anyway, keep it high. I started to do that all wrong. Thank you and good night.